Alright, we're doing 14-2 work together, which is on page 424. There are two steps here. The first is we're going to journalize entries for Olson Company using page 15 of the General Journal and 24 of the cash receipts. There are 3 transactions where we write off accounts that are uncollectible. Whenever I write off an account, then I am going to debit the allowance for uncollectible accounts to reduce it, and I'm going to credit accounts receivable with the name of the company to reduce it. So I have cheated a little bit here and went ahead and put in the General Journal all of my dates, my documents, and my amounts to try to conserve the time on my recording. So again, 3 of them we wrote off to Mellon Corp for past due accounts on collectible accounts. So every time I do that, what I want to do is debit the allowance for uncollectible accounts, and I want to credit the the accounts receivable. Mellon Corp. So I'm going to do that every time that I wrote off. So you can see I did that for all 3 transactions where I wrote off, and I used the amount that they provided in the transaction for that write-off. So debit the allowance, credit the receivable, because I'm reducing both of those things. When I write off, I'm using up some of that allowance by debiting, and I'm crediting receivable and getting rid of it, which again does not change the book value of accounts receivable at all. So then the next transactions are all when we receive cash in full payment. So we receive cash in full payment of an account previously written off for Mellon on the 8th of December, and then the same for Horn Company on December 16th. So when we do that, the first thing we have to do is reinstate their receivable. So here we had written off Mellon Corp, so we're now going to just reverse that around and reestablish the accounts receivable. And credit the allowance. Maybe, if I can spell. And then I'm going to do the exact same thing for Horn, because we saw here where we wrote it off. Now I'm just going to reverse that amount for Horn. So I'm going to debit accounts receivable, Horn Company, and credit the allowance. Put it back in there. Allowance for uncollectible. So that reinstates the receivable on December 8th and the 16th for Mellon and Horn. And then I'm going to record the cash receipt, and that's just normal, absolutely normal. December 8th and the 16th. Those are the amounts where we debit cash, credit receivable, and all I need to add to it is who it was from, which was, I think, Mellon and Horn. Mellon Corp. And Horn. So if I were you, I'd maybe pause this if you want to get it entered on yours. And then I am going to go to the next step. And rather than posting this one by one like we know how. I'm going to go ahead and just show you the answer. If you would like to put it in. So, on all of our post references, the way this works, here's my yellow. I am posting to the general ledger, and when I do accounts receivable, because there's a subledger, I put the general ledger account number up here, and the subledger customer account number down here. So that's what the post references would look like. And the only thing, again, that I would make sure that you know is that when we get down here into the subledger, and it doesn't look like it did it, we typically put written off, reopened, and we didn't do that. So I'm guessing that in MindTap you don't have to, but if there's a quiz or something, you would say that yes, you want to write in the subledger that we've written off or reopened an account if that's the case. And that is it. Oh, sorry, let me go. I'll leave it there for a second so that you can copy what you need to for post references if you want. And there it is for the cash receipts journal, just post references, because the only thing I'm posting is this accounts receivable credit. There's Fisher. After we posted, they have a 0 balance. Harris Company, after I posted, has a 0 balance. Mellon, after I posted, has a 0 balance. And then my accounts receivable, the balance after I posted everything is $33,788.85. The allowance is $1798.47, a credit as you would expect. And that's it.